Hey Siri, can I use you as a bicycle computer? Let me explain. So what was it? It was probably 2 years ago, I reckon now, that I did a video, and it was about if you could use your smartwatch as a bicycle computer. And I think we came to the decision in that vlog that essentially it was close, but it wasn't really there yet. Fast forward a couple of years, and for the last 2 weeks, I have been riding my Apple Watch as my bicycle computer. So let's call this a little bit of an update. Can you use your smartwatch as a bicycle computer in March 2022? So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to break down how I have been using the watch initially, just the workflow, the actual going out and riding it. And then I really want to take a deep dive into the data, because that's really what we're all here for, isn't it? Like, does the data work? So to be using this as my bicycle computer, I have been using an app called Navigate. And what I want to do is jump onto a website, jump onto their website, talk you through it, and talk you through how I have been using it as my bike computer. So let's jump onto their website. I want to say 2 quick things before we get started with this thing. The first is this was clearly not designed by a dyslexic, because I can't even pretend to try and spell this word. It just confuses me every time I look at it, but that's another story. And the other thing is this. This is not a sales pitch on this app. Now, I've been working really closely with the developers on this, doing constant development. It's daily, it's always happening, but I really want to come at this more from the concept, get you guys thinking about this as a possible future for you. You can not only use the watch as something that mirrors what's displayed on the phone, so similar to the way I think there's like an app called Psychological or something like that, that essentially the watch is mirroring what your phone is doing. This app, you can leave the phone at home and just use your watch. So just to talk you through the way this data is being collected, okay, is you can see here the speed. Now the speed is being done by the GPS on the watch, okay? So that is what essentially is then giving you your distance. So that again is all metrics built into the hardware of the watch. Now you come along then to the power meter. Now the power meter is being done by your Asioma pedals or by your Bluetooth connected pedals, okay? And then your heart rate is being done by the watch using the built-in heart rate monitor. So there's a few features here that you can see. It's gonna all come down to reliability, right? Absolutely all down to reliability. And for me, well, not that I use heart rate a lot as much of an important metric, but you know, can I rely on that? Like, is the heart rate monitor in here actually legit? So before we dive into the data from all the rides that I've been doing and we can talk through that, I just want to confirm this with you, that this is not using the Apple Workouts cycling app, okay? So that will give you heart rate, but that has no ability to connect to any external sensors. How you actually ride is, it's interesting. It's, I do check it, I do look at it, I'm not going to pretend. But more from so I'm worried it's not working type perspective, because you're not just like seeing it there in front of you. You're kind of constantly going, I wonder if it's still working, and hence checking it. But it has been good, just like not having something just confronting you, you know what I mean? So I just want to jump into 2 rides that I've been doing. A couple of just quick things. So this is me comparing the watch versus a bicycle computer. I've been running them side by side. This is a Centennial Park one. It's just a constant steady state effort in CP. It's the heart rate data being pulled from the watch, and the green is the power data being pulled from the Asiomas, versus this one, which is my Wahoo Bolt. Heart rate monitor is the polar one, and same power meter. Okay, so we're not going to worry too much about the power. Guys, the power's just been rock solid. Okay, it's taking power data from the Asiomas, which we know are pretty much the gold standard at this point. Like, it's been just flawless. First thing I want you to, well, you'll notice is the Wahoo's a .fit file versus the watch, which is a GPX file. That's one of the updates that hopefully will be coming in the next few weeks. First thing though, you'll notice, see this data in grey behind? That is the elevation data from the Wahoo. It's got me sort of subterranean at moments, whereas the watch is just bang on, absolutely bang on the whole time. Let's just then have a quick look at the heart rate. So I am going to just sort of take a rough selection of this effort here. Okay, let's have a look. And we're saying average heart rate's 148. And let's jump into interval 2, 148. Damn solid. Guys, it's been rock solid, this heart rate monitor.
One thing I've been really surprised about, obviously, is the heart rate, but particularly the heart rate monitor down there on the wrist, and how riding out of the saddle would affect its ability to be accurate.
Now, there's one particular area I want to show you, and this is the climb out of Waterfall. Okay, this little section right here, and I rode this whole thing out of the saddle because I just really was like, well, you know, how does a heart rate monitor work on my wrist when it's like bent in the corner and all that kind of stuff? This is not a very good selection, Chris, but let's take that there from the watch and say 138, 140, something like that on the Polar. 140. Yeah, pretty damn rock solid. The last little bit of data that I really want to show you guys is the GPS. So those of you that probably live down in this area will know, okay, will know that when you drop into the Royal National Park, which is this lovely little spot down here in Sydney, that it's really wooded, it's really treed, lovely spot to go on a hot summer's day, but that plays havoc with GPSs. And there's this particular spot, this little spot here, I've had GPS drops like all the time. God, don't start me on the PC8 around here, okay? But let's have a look at this. This is the watch, super consistent, really good. All right, is it any good compared to, and I've got to say, I think the Karoo has been doing a fantastic job with this. Let's have a quick deep dive into what the Karoo did in that particular area. Down there, in the Shire, look at the Shire. Marries up pretty well. This is the particular area here that I'm looking at, because that's sort of where it's been dropped. But that, guys, is damn good.
At this stage, I haven't really had much of a play with the mapping side of it. Obviously, the logistics of glancing at it repeatedly for mapping is something that might be a challenge, but what will be really work good is they'll be pre-caching the maps themselves, so there's no sort of delay loading them.
As far as things like battery life and screen on things, it's a bit of a movable feast at the moment and it's being changed kind of daily. I have been trying to run it with always on off, which is, you know, always on the screen. I've had that off, and so when I've done 4-hour rides and started around 100%, the Apple Watch has been down to about 55% at the end of the ride. If I've run that at a full blast always on display for around the 4-hour ride, it's been down to around 20%. The other thing that I've tended to do a lot is run a focus mode during being on the bike, so maybe do not disturb or set up a fitness mode or something like that, just to reduce the notifications that are coming through, because I did find in some of the original beta builds that when I was getting a dump of notifications, something like the heart rate monitor or the Bluetooth connection to the power meter might fall off. I haven't had that in some of the updates recently, but I've kind of kept with keeping those focus modes on because it's been good not to actually have the dump of info. So guys, I can't wait to hear some of your comments and feedback on this. What sort of features would you like to see on the watch? Would love to see that. What are your concerns over this? Do you see anything that's a potential hazard that I haven't spotted? Love to hear that. Pop that comment down below. And obviously anyone who's had some experience with different apps, more than happy to hear that. Would love to try some different apps out if there are some out there. But I am specifically talking about ones that are not just mirroring what's on your phone. I think for me, the real value add here is you don't even have your phone. You just, bang, you just got the watch. Okay? Really, thank you so much for watching. I like doing tech vlogs, so tech vlogs and fashion vlogs, and I probably won't get as much abuse doing a tech vlog, but anyway, oh yes I will. Android users, come on, give it to me, right. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We will see you super soon.